larger lecture hall classes is you're basically going to be evaluated based on your ability to take 4 tests and 4 quizzes. Chances are you're not going to write a research paper. There's no such thing as group projects anymore. No class participation. Some of you are thinking, that sounds outstanding. Where do I sign up right now? Okay? But for some of you, you don't learn well that way, and that's okay. The other part that you kind of have to understand when it comes to this large lecture hall setting, in the college admissions world, we hear the phrase a lot, I'm not a good test taker. Well, when you're in that 400 to 1,000 person class, where all you are being evaluated on is your ability to take 4 tests and 4 quizzes, it's probably a good idea that you are at least able to succeed on tests, okay? The other thing with that is understand, Latrice talked about being a nurse, doctor, lawyer, teacher, anything that you do and the rest of your life, you are going to need to be proficient on tests. So the earlier you get better at that, the better your life will be when it comes to getting those first jobs. The other thing that you hear about the large state institutions is that we don't care. When you come to our campuses, you're just a number. That couldn't be further from the truth, but what you have to work on as a student is you have to make sure that you are a self-advocate. So when you have that question, once again, it's not going to be raising your hand in that group of 300. What are you going to do to stop by afterwards and talk to that professor? Go to a study session. Stop by that professor's office hours. What are you going to do to make sure you receive that extra help? And the fact of the matter is, when you go out and seek out that extra help, you will find out that there are more opportunities out there than you've ever realized. The next thing that you'll see when it comes to students looking into the large state institutions and why students really like large state institutions is the rah-rah atmosphere. Okay? We're in the middle of Big Ten country. We're big sports fans, right? Right now, my Redbirds are playing against Bradley. At 8 o'clock, Amy's Illini are playing against Purdue. Parents, especially parents with sons, here is what I'm going to tell you about your sons. They think that it is worth every dollar of your $30,000, $33,000, $35,000, $40,000 per year to send them to that school for the fact that they may get on TV for 15 seconds. Okay? So those are one of the biggest activities that you see, but also be very, very careful that that is not your only visit to that institution. Perfect example is the University of Iowa. Okay? If you just go to a football game at Kinnick Stadium, it's completely different when Kinnick Stadium is the 5th largest city in all of Iowa on game day. That's not what it looks like when you're walking between psychology and sociology from your 9 to 10 o'clock class on Wednesday. The other thing to think about is just the overall opportunities that are there. When you come to our campuses, we want to prepare you for a global learning environment. You're no longer just competing against students from Chicagoland or Illinois or the Midwest. You're competing against students globally, so make sure that you stay involved in the same things that you were involved in here at school, or look into other opportunities that may be out there as well that you didn't have the opportunities to take advantage of here at Illinois.
And another thing Latrice mentioned that I think is really important is if you are involved in something now, and that is a huge part of your life, whether it's service, whether it's performing arts, whether it's sports, when you're looking at schools like mine, talk to your admissions counselor and say, how do I get involved? Because we know that the more likely you are to get involved on campus, probably the better you're going to do. You're going to become part of that community. The other nice thing about private schools is sometimes we have scholarships for those activities. Particularly performing arts, even if you're not going to be a major in those areas, we might have scholarships for you to sing in a choir or play in a band or orchestra, which is something you probably would have done for free anyway. You just need to ask. And I think that's probably the one barrier that families get sometimes with private schools is they say, oh my gosh, that price tag's a little big to start out with. But know that that financial aid is available. It's available for a lot of things, academics as well as activities. So we've given you some things to think about for sure. We're going to let Amy talk for a little bit, but we will definitely be in the college fair as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.